Hello, good morning. So today I wanted to just share a few thoughts about our masculine and feminine energy and how this can really help us when we're feeling burnt out, when we're feeling stuck, when we're feeling challenged, when we're feeling like we need support. Because again, these are all things that yoga really helps us to understand about ourselves when we're not feeling good, not particularly not feeling good, but when we're feeling challenged, and identifying what we need to do, what part of us are we not allowing to be expressed or to relax or to, gear up, whatever it is. So I think this message really goes out to, because I'm going to speak from my point of view right now, this message goes out to single parent households and anybody who feels a little bit like really tired at the moment, challenged, too much like doing. And from my point of view, being a single parent household, it is what it is right now, This comes in response to a few posts that I've seen recently. The beauty of having a partnership that really supports each other in a way that you both need. And I was like, okay, but for people who are on their own at home, it's a very different dynamic, and we really need to still be able to access that support, but in a different way. And somebody put a post up yesterday, my dear friend actually, that said, spiritual growth comes through the struggle, comes through the challenges, and taking the action to create new things rather than sitting on a mat and doing yoga and meditation. So that is right. That is absolutely right. Growth comes through action. But this is just to help us understand that we have tools if we do feel like we are too much in our masculine energy. So bringing this back to my situation, because I know that people relate here if you're a single parent household. As a woman, it's like we are very much in our masculine, not necessarily in terms of like the ambition, the like, how do I say this? The work, the doing, it's the energy that it takes to like organize everything, to support everything, hold everything up yourself. And when we, as women, when we are not given the space, or when we don't give this to ourselves, the space to really balance our masculine energy with our feminine energy, and what that looks like is being able to like crumble if you need to crumble, being able to just express whatever needs to be expressed in that moment. And it doesn't matter what shape the words take on, just you're the channel for expression. That is what the feminine aspect of ourselves is, and men have this within themselves as well. But I'm talking from a woman's point of view right now, because hopefully if you're listening you will resonate with this if you are a single parent woman. Having that space to just like retreat yourself, give yourself a retreat, allow yourself just to fully fill your cup in the most feminine divine way, which is whatever that means to you. Creativity, space just to be dancing, singing, like poetry, again, expression. And it could be sacred anger, it could be like whatever needs to come through you. That part of us, communication, fluidity, that part of us is so important. Men and women have these two energies running through them. I just watched an amazing series yesterday, actually, or the day before, from the Egyptians, and how this was really prevalent in their culture. Before like the traditional Egyptian history came about, like this was really prevalent and understood in their nature and culture, and we've drifted from this so much, and this is where in today's life we find ourselves burnt out. I heard myself saying this yesterday, like, am I coming up to a burnout? But I think because I can analyze it, I'm not quite there yet. But just, this is why women, speaking from a women's point of view right now, I've had burnout before. Like, this is why we experience burnout, because we're too much in our masculine energy. That's the masculine that drives, that organizes, that is very linear. it's very like problem solve, like just it's very forwards, it's very organization, it's very much in our headspace. And I know if you're on your own as a woman, we do a lot of that, but we also need to really make sure that we are getting the support that we need to also be in our feminine energy. And that's the part of us where we can communicate absolutely freely, not with giving our communication onto people. It's not about putting that onto people or like blaming or anything. It's just about being the vessel for that communication. It's just about expression. It's just about letting it move through you. It's so important. It's so important, and it's so healing. And to have that space where you can just, and it might not be like sacred anger, it could be something very beautiful, it could be just something that's within your heart, it just needs to be expressed. That's what that feminine aspect of us is all about. The expression, the fluidity, I feel my shoulders going down right now, like it's the releasing of the energy, it's the softening, it's the letting go. And this is what we learn through yoga and meditation. We understand those aspects of ourselves, and we learn how to integrate them. We learn how to recognize them so that we can look after our health, our mental health, our physical health, and be very present with where we are at right now. There is nothing wrong in really stepping into your feminine and going, do you know what? I'm struggling right now. There really is nothing wrong with that, but it takes a lot of awareness. You know, when we're so in our masculine, it can be very hard to say that because we're not utilizing that other part of us, that other energy. So, you know, maybe this just speaks to the people out there who, like myself, we are a single parent household, and that's totally that it is as it is right now. But make sure that we are honoring both parts of ourselves and recognizing both aspects of ourselves. You could be sat here male, you could be female. It's understanding that, for example, I've been working with a man on my course recently, and it's so interesting actually, because we often have the conversation, well, men find it really hard to express their troubles, their needs, their what's going on inside. And that's why there is a lot of mental health problems with like hidden mental health within men, because of this like disconnect to their feminine energy, and that they're just always in they're always in their masculine, and it's very rigid, it's very hard, it's very like uber structured, really too much structured. And both women and men fall into that category because we have those energies within us, and both need to be really, really honored and supported. It's the feminine aspect of us that will lead, that will allow growth, that will just pour out into the support that you have with the masculine energy. And we need to establish that within ourselves so that we can then obviously take that knowledge and understanding into a really healthy relationship. So coming back to my friend's post of spiritual growth happens through action, absolutely, because the feminine is the action, the feminine, the trust, the movement, the flow, the intuition, the moving with our intuition rather than everything being super organized up here, masculine. Moving with our intuition and taking guided action according to our values, our beliefs, and what it is that we want to create with our life. That is our feminine energy. And the meditation and the yoga part can really help us understand that about ourselves and teach us how to just relax and move into the more feminine aspect of ourselves. So a little bit of, there is truth in that, Meme, but there's also, it's a balance of both. The yoga, the meditation, it provides you the tools to support your health, to help you move into those parts of ourselves that we're struggling to access, that we're struggling to express. So, if you do find yourself right now struggling, you're physically or mentally, you don't feel good. Like, I feel so tired at the moment, like a whole nother level of tired, but there's a lot of energy at the moment. But I really do feel tired, and I really have to honor that the feminine aspect of myself, even if it doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, but if I do that, and this is often the thing that we come up against, isn't it? But if I do that, then all of this will fall apart. That's the masculine talking. That is the masculine. Whereas the feminine's like, let go, and just be the expression that needs to be come through you right now, because the masculine will support that. So just a few thoughts, because this is the work that I do, and I see it in a yoga class, just how much people come in and they're really like tight and wound up, very much in their day-to-day work masculine space, and then they leave the class much more in their heart space, much more softer, much more open, and it makes them feel good. And that isn't to say that masculine is bad and feminine is good. They're both good. They're both needed in balance. So if you are feeling like on that verge of burnout, or really tired right now, or just needing that support, needing also some tools to help move you into that other aspect of yourself, then meditation and yoga are a brilliant, and this is why it's so there's such a rise in it, around the world right now, because we're realizing that we need these ancient tools back. We need this knowledge about ourselves back. It's a way in to then taking that action that we need to take. It's about looking after our health, making sure our health is balanced, our mind, body, and emotions are all balanced. Balanced makes it sound really like flat and boring, but recognized. I'm going to use the word recognized. So we're accessing the parts of us that need to be accessed and expressed at that particular time in our own journey, and then taking the guided action that we need to take from there on. So if you do want some help with this, I'm more than happy to show you some tools that I use. We're all on a journey, we're all growing, we're all facing challenges, so I think, as much as we can all share tools together that help move us forwards, the better it's going to be for everybody, isn't it? And just support, just to hold that space for each other to be what we need to be in the moment. That is healing. That is healing in itself, just allowing people to be what they need to be in that moment. So I hope that's given you something to think about. If you are feeling tired, on the verge of some kind of like burnout, or just not quite balanced, you're in that struggle phase, just something to think about, something to maybe research a little bit further yourself, or speak to me, ask me more about it, because it's a beautiful aspect of ourselves, and it's a very important part of our history, of our own personal knowledge. And it's this personal knowledge that really helps us heal. So take care, guys, and speak to you soon. Bye.